Okay, time for introductions. 49. Okay. So, straightforward opinion essay. Some people believe that face-to-face communication is always more powerful than written communication. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? So, what's the paraphrasing that we can use? As I keep saying, if it says some people believe, you can simply say according to some. No need for many individuals, blah, blah, blah. Just keep it simple. Some people believe, according to some. Communication, communicating. As I said before, you can change the word form. If you can't think of a synonym which fits and is interchangeable, simply change the word form. Communication, communicating, communicative, etc. More powerful, the synonym for power is strength, so you can use stronger, more effective. Written, writing, communication, communicating, communicative, again, as I say. So what can we say about this question? What is our opinion? Well, for this essay, I would simply agree. We need a couple of reasons why. One for paragraph 2, one for paragraph number 3. So I'd say a person's face, it's like when you're speaking to anybody, such facial expressions, the general demeanour, the body language, etc. That's a major part of non-verbal communication, and also how they speak, their manner of speaking. So a person's face, in that regard, tells you more than reading their words. That's true. The second reason strengthens a bond of trust. If you see them face to face, you can, as I say, you can see them, you can read them. Whereas sometimes words, especially if the author is not so good, may be ambiguous, or they may strike the wrong tone or register, etc. So what's our introduction? Well, we could simply say this. According to some, communicating face-to-face is stronger and more effective than communicating in writing. Okay, I agree with this statement, as reading a person's face tells you more than reading their words. Also, I believe face-to-face interaction could serve to better strengthen the bonds of trust between two people. So paragraph 2, we'll be talking about the face, non-verbal communication, or kind of manner, and the body language, as I was just expressing. Paragraph number 3, we'll be talking about how kind of trust and etc. So anyway, so that's what we could do with those. Now, just check, because I was checking these a few days ago, and we had a few empty sentences, and I did say to a couple of people, we want to avoid this. Now, what do I mean when I say empty sentence? Well, in the previous video, I think it was 48, was it? 48, maybe 47, or possibly both. We had some empty sentences where people simply say, in this essay I will discuss both views or both sides of the argument. Okay, well, we know that you will, because that's what you've been told to do. Or, in this essay I will agree that both sides have some advantages and disadvantages. Again, you're not telling the reader anything. So, I hope we don't have any of those in these introductions. Some individuals, hold the views that the strength of direct interaction has constantly been more than composing form of relation. Is that supposed to be a paraphrase of written? Because that doesn't work. That's nonsensical. Than the composing form. So some individuals hold the views. Well, why is it views? I thought there was just one. But the strength of direct interaction, well, that could mean anything. It doesn't necessarily mean spoken communication, has constantly been more. Well, it's not simply more, is it? It's stronger than composing form of relation. Composing form, I suppose you mean written. So anyway, so that sentence is nonsensical. That's not good at all. I completely agree with the idea of straight communicating, or straight communication. And straight communication, does that mean speaking or what? Because the emotions of both sides can be fully understood, and the easiness or the ease of speaking itself rather than writing. So, okay, I kind of get what you're saying there, but that sentence one, does not work at all. The way people interact and communicate with each other, the way, which should be hasn't. Changing during the time. What time? You mean over time. And that's irrelevant. Nothing to do with the topic. You don't need it. Some commentators, well, it's not some commentators. It's simply people who are not necessarily a commentator. Believe that direct communication, direct does not necessarily mean spoken. Spoken, that's the key. Speaking is more preferable to what? If you've got a comparative, you need something to compare it with. What others are into the view that written right, where does it say that? It doesn't say two views, it's not a discussion. It says some people. Right, do you agree or disagree that face-to-face communication is always more powerful than written communication? That's the question. Nothing more, nothing less. So, while others are into the view, while others hold the view that written interactions are more convenient and faster, well, it doesn't say that at all. To a certain extent, I agree with the latter. Has a vital. Well, okay, so to a certain extent, so this basically tells me absolutely nothing. Very good job. Face-to-face communication is thought by some people to be more effective in communication. Okay, yeah, that's good. In my opinion, face-to-face communication is powerful when responses are when arranging an appointment can be arduous. Okay, well, I would not keep saying face-to-face communication. I would paraphrase that. So, to avoid repetition, written impressive as well, particularly when arranging an appointment can be arduous. Okay, that's not too bad. I just changed that so you're not saying the same thing twice. It is generally believed that negotiation with people in a real world, how many real worlds do we have, always have an enormous impact. In my point of view, both of them with effectively due to a specific situation which they are in. Okay. Always have an enormous, okay. In number of people's view, just simply make it according to some. Person-to-person contact. It's, yeah, but I can contact you person to person by a telephone call. It's what's it say? It say face-to-face. So it's not person to person to person. I can make a person-to-person telephone call, but that's not the same, is it? So, face-to-face, as in I see you, you see me, which is not strictly the same thing. Strong written messages all the time. Well, we don't need that. I'm not totally on the same page with those people. What does that mean? I'm not totally on the same page. Do you agree or not? Situation handled less much more effective in direct interaction. I would avoid using this not on the same page. That's not very academic. But not bad. At least is clear. But not totally on the same page. It's like, do you agree or not? You're not kind of totally. It's like, trying not to sit on the fence, because you've said here, there are situations, so you could say, well, actually, no, I don't agree, because, no, I'm not totally what? So you kind of partially. So try to be clear. Frequently assumed. No, it's not. It's simply some people believe. It's not frequently assumed. Nothing is assumed, and assumption is not a belief. Verbal relationship. That's not the same as face-to-face communication. Verbal. I can call you on the telephone. Can you see my face? No. Not the same thing. Has constantly been more strength. Or more. What's the comparative of strength? Of strong, isn't it? It's stronger. Consistently been stronger when compared with written connection. You mean communication? In my opinion, I strongly agree with this point of view. That direct communication has always had lots of benefits for people. Although written relations can be used as an alternative way, or simply as an alternative, people can expand emotional bonds correctly. Expand their emotional bonds. What does that mean? Well, I understand what the words mean, but expand their emotional bonds. Never heard that correctly in face-to-face relationships. So this isn't bad, but the paraphrasing doesn't quite work. To make it better or more accurate, I should say, or more to the topic, do, as I've said before, when you're paraphrasing, if you can't think of synonym, change the word form. All right? Communication, communicative, communicating, etc. Communicate, change the word form. Change the order of the words, if you can't think of synonym. That would avoid using some phrases here which don't really work. According to some, apparent effectiveness of an in-person relationship, well, again, that's not strictly speaking face-to-face communication, is it? Is higher. Well, it's not higher. It's stronger. I agree with the face-to-face communication provides third-person us with a better understanding of words. We convey our feelings effectively. Okay. Well, you'd have to, convey. You'd have to expand on that in the essay, but that's okay. That's not bad. Not bad. Some assert that communicating verbally in person is superior to written ones. Ones what? To written communication. I partially agree, since sometimes written interactions are handy. And where's the rest of it? Seems a little bit short. Okay. Some content in-person communication is better than that of a written method of communication. Communication. Okay. We don't need to keep saying the same thing twice. Communication. Since it makes it easier to sense what the person is really thinking, convey one's actual feeling. Yeah. Okay, but where's your opinion? Do you agree or disagree? And where's the essay going? So you're missing out. So that's simply sentence 1, a paraphrase. But what about your opinion? Where is that? Verbal communication is thought to be more impactful than non-verbal ones, non-verbal forms, such as writing. As powerful as oral communication can be, yet I firmly believe that written communication is capable of yielding that same effect. Okay, I would have said a little bit more, but okay, that's not too bad. but again, this is a bit ambiguous. So you said it's powerful, but does that mean that you agree? Are you partially disagree? So I will try and clear that up a bit, but that's not too bad. Not too bad. So what's to take away from this particular example, this particular question? Right. So first things first, as I keep saying, add nothing, omit nothing. If it doesn't say it in the topic, don't include it. All right? When you are paraphrasing, try and do it so it accurately reflects the topic. So that can be by changing the word form or synonym, or changing the word order. But don't be using synonyms that are not interchangeable. Because as we've seen, there's a few examples here where people have attempted a synonym, they've attempted a paraphrase, and it has not worked. So to avoid that, simply change the word form, and that will count equally. Okay, good. So not too bad. I'll make a video later tomorrow. I think we have introductions number 50, and I'm going to be making a video complete correction, review, and scoring of the lucky winner. I'm joking. Of intro 49. I don't know who that is. I'll take a look in a second. So I'll see you next time. Bye for now.